right, let's go.
Welcome to Parallel Podcast 868, Trinidad's finest professional, unprofessional podcast with your host, Prez I Am and the God.
Trinidad!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Parallel Podcast 868, Trinidad's finest. I'm your host, Prez I Am. I am Prez for the slow ones and the one who don't know ones. Alongside the God, the alchemist himself, tell the people of them something.
Jah, Rastafari, so that's the idea. Mention ever faithful, ever blessed.
Of course, because that's how we do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us tonight the ever so humble, the ever so traveling Zoe. Tell the people of them something, please.
Hi guys, it's Travel with Zoe.
Right. So we're going to talk to Zoe a little bit tonight. We'll talk some shit. We have some fun. Right? Zoe. Mm-hmm. Right. We getting straight into it then. No time, no waste.
You can say first.
Huh?
No.
How did you first begin, or what encouraged you to become a content creator?
I wanted to be a content creator since 2013, when I came back from my first solo trip, and it was so different from what everybody told me it was going to be, and I felt like a need to like share that with the world.
Right.
So back then, obviously in 2013, I was like 20, and you know, TikTok didn't exist, I don't think. So
You give away age, Zoe. Go ahead.
I'm literally 31, I don't care.
Yeah.
So I made a WordPress website, like I paid for a domain, and it needed a name, so I was like, oh no, Travel with Zoe. So I just paid for like travelwithzoe.org. And I started writing blog posts because that's what people did back then. So on every trip, I'd write blog posts about, you know, how do you take the bus to this waterfall and what happened when I went to this strip club and like whatever. And I would just like put photos in the blog posts, and that was what I would do about my travels like back then. But I wasn't traveling full time back then. Obviously, like I was a student at university, and then I was working, but I would just travel when I could save money, when I could get time. And so, yeah, I used to write about my trips, and I thought that my blog posts were like really informative and kind of unique and quite helpful. And I got like good feedback from the people that did read it, but it wasn't like many people. It never really like took off like that. So I just in the end felt a bit frustrated because it takes a long time to write articles, and it felt like it was maybe taking too long versus how many people were actually reading it. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, maybe I need to try something else. Maybe people are more moving towards like video. Maybe I need to get like a GoPro and do like YouTube, or because the times were changing even since back then, right? So, you know, I bought a GoPro at one point and tried to do a few things, but I didn't enjoy being in public with like this selfie stick and whatever. So I kind of gave up. Like I just gave up on that after like a few times. And I had this one experience in New York when I was trying to do this vlog in like Harlem or something, and this one lady started like threatening me because she thought that I was filming her when I literally wasn't. It was on like selfie.
Big up Harlem still.
Anyway, so yeah, gave up on that and didn't really know. I tried like to focus on Instagram a bit, but like that never really took off. But I just knew like I had to share my travels like somehow. And you know, my friends on Instagram would always message me and be like, oh, I wish I could travel like you, like I want to know more. You know, I knew that people were interested, I just didn't know the platform for me. So, and I could never dedicate time to it because like I said, I was working or I was studying. So then TikTok, you know, became a thing like several years ago. And so I downloaded it, as did everybody. You know, most people downloaded it, right, just to browse and watch videos. I would create a few videos, whatever, like any normal person. And then eventually, like, I saved enough money to, like, stop working in the UK and to just travel for a bit longer. Like, I didn't know how long for, but I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy a one-way flight and see how long I can travel for with this money, because I saved up quite a lot during COVID because I was able to work more because there was nothing else to do, like, during COVID.
Something like you get rich, yeah.
Well, like, I was working at COVID test centres. I had, like, 12-hour shifts and the pay was decent, so, yeah, and I had, like, other jobs at the same time, so... Anyway, yeah, so then I was like, oh, I'm just going to post on TikTok because now I'm traveling, like, why not? Like, so I just started doing vlogs and I just carried on, and then, yeah.
So your intent was always to travel?
Yeah, like since university, all I ever wanted to do, like, you know, at university, some people, they finished and they did like master's degrees, or they went on to do like this big, I don't know, internship at this big company in the centre of London, but all I ever wanted to do was travel. So like after university, I was only ever working like to travel, you know what I mean?
Because I was thinking, as you mentioned, university, was that an influence to the traveling, knowing that in university you tend to meet different...
No, like, to be honest, I just went to university because I'm from, like, how I grew up is that's what you do. Like you go to
Okay.
school, you finish school at 18, you go to university. That's what you do. So I just went because that's what you do.
Okay.
But to be honest, I actually studied languages. So I studied French and Spanish. So I suppose in a sense that could encourage me to travel in a way, because it's like different cultures, different languages. But I already just wanted to travel regardless, you know.
And you still had the website up?
Yeah, people can read my old posts.
For real?
Yeah, but
It's updated?
Like I tried last year to update it a little bit. It's been like sporadic, and sometimes I think I should go back to it, you know. But
I think the issue there was reading. People do like to read.
People
so
who
much,
like to read. Yeah.
yeah, especially
Yeah.
long, because my
Especially
thing's
when,
quite long.
Social media, Instagram, all them other
This
things.
is
Yeah.
why. This is why TikTok and
Yeah.
stories
Yeah.
are now the thing, because that is the span there.
Yeah. But I did take down like some of my really, really old posts because I was just a bit like, I've changed as a person since like 10 years ago. So there
Yeah,
were
of
some
course.
things I was a bit maybe like embarrassed about, or I didn't like how I wrote it. So I did take down some of them, but some of them are still there. And I feel like if you're someone that's like actually really a fan of my content, you might find it interesting maybe to go back and look at some of the old posts. I don't know.
And how many countries could you average that you visit so far?
I think in my life I've been to like 51 or something.
Well, class.
But a few of them
Big
I
up
was a
that.
child. or something, right?
young.
Like,
Big up that.
What was one of your probably favorite experience or best countries to visit?
Besides Trinidad.
yeah.
Besides Trinidad.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, everyone knows that I keep coming back to the Caribbean. So, obviously, I've always ended up, like, having mostly a really good time in the Caribbean. So, like, other than Trinidad, I really enjoyed Jamaica. I think Dominica's really beautiful. Guyana, Haiti, Belize. But aside from
St.
that,
Martin's?
yeah.
I really like St. Martin's. I don't know why.
But I also, outside of the Caribbean, I really enjoyed Panama and Vietnam and Albania. And also Ghana in West Africa.
And not to be rude or anything, what country originally from?
England.
England? So
Okay.
you are around all them France and all them other places, might be cheap to visit.
Obviously, like, the flights are really cheap. Like, they literally have, like, £10 flights to, like, European
Wow.
countries. So, like, yeah, there's this
crazy.
airline,
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah, they have sales for, like,
Once-
£10 flights.
Once you reach Europe, it's
Yeah,
cheap to
yeah.
go to them
But
But
other
the
places.
thing is, like, I hate the cold, so it's very limited. Like, I would only want to visit those places in, like, July, August, September. Do you know what I mean? And then that's the time when, like, everyone's visiting them, and often in that time I might be, like, wanting to go to Carnival in Barbados or whatever it might be. So, like, I've visited, like, lots of European countries, but there's still more that I want to visit. Like, I really want to go, like, Croatia, Bulgaria. Like, I want to do more of Europe for sure.
Okay. How was in your experience, how was your audience changed when you started to visit the Caribbean, and what was the first Caribbean country you visited?
Well, it's not really that my audience changed because my first solo trip was to Jamaica. So my first ever solo trip was to the Caribbean. And that's
Right.
when I started writing the website because everybody told me I was going to die in Jamaica and then I didn't. And so,
That's what TV spin.
yeah, so, but it's okay. It's not that my audience changed, but it's that when I started posting vlogs, what happened was not what I thought was going to happen. I mean, I had no real expectation, but when I started posting vlogs, I'd seen other travel vlogs, right, from girls who were like English and, you know, similar age to me and were backpacking, like girls that I thought maybe their content might be similar to mine, right? I was basing what I thought might happen to me off what happened to them. So what happened to them was that they got followers from like the UK or wherever they were from who were like similar to them. So maybe other women who wanted to budget travel, solo with a backpack, whatever. And like they could then like sell stuff to their audience because they could sell travel guides. They could, I don't know, make their own like backpack and like sell it. They would like monetize, not just monetize through TikTok, but actually like sell stuff to their audience, and like their audience would relate to them. Their audience would be like very similar to them. So I just kind of like assumed that if anything, my audience would be the same. Like my audience would be people like me, so people like from the UK, do you know what I mean? Who are saving to quit their job and travel or whatever it might be. But like for whatever reason, that literally just didn't happen. And like my audience is like largely from here. Obviously there are some people from America, some people from the UK, whatever, but like it happened in a way that like I could just never have expected. And obviously I love my audience. Like obviously I wouldn't want any other audience. Obviously it's them that, you know.
The best part of it, no?
Yeah, of course.
Unexpected.
But it's like it has created a very different situation for me, because even now, like, my content's different, because if my audience was from like the UK, then I would even speak differently, because I wouldn't call it like chana, I would call it chickpeas. Do you get what I mean? No, but like seriously, like I would have to explain things so much more if my audience was from the UK.
But now with Caribbean, you could talk freely.
Yeah, or not just free, but like you can. I still try to make it like understandable for everyone, because I do still have an audience from everywhere. But like, I more use like sometimes local terms, and like I don't feel the need to explain what is soca or what is carnival. Or, do you know what I mean? Like I just can just like say it how it happened. But then also it's like I can't really like sell as much stuff to my audience, because they're not necessarily trying to, or less of them are trying to do what I'm doing, because I'm traveling in their country, so they're not trying to like leave and go. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
I think we're more for the entertainment.
They're more like, I feel like they're more like maybe trying to like live vicariously through me. Maybe sometimes they say they're learning things about their own country. I don't know, but it's like I probably couldn't like sell like backpacks, or do you get what I'm saying? Like that wouldn't really work like with my audience, which is why I haven't really even tried to like. I could maybe sell like t-shirts, like merch or whatever, but it's like I couldn't like use my platform to make money in the same way that that they like could, because I've seen them even like they host like group trips from like, well, so they host group trips to like Peru or to like Mexico or whatever, where people like from the UK like fly. And there's this pre-run itinerary. Obviously, they do it like in conjunction with the travel company. But so they're taking.
They go along like a tour guide then.
Yeah, well, but then they also like there's a tour guide included as well. So they're like the face of the trip, right? So they sell it like through their social media, but like they're aiming it at obviously people from their own country who
want to
have that similar experience
and stuff,
and like have someone there who's like the same as them, who can kind of take them through it and give them the confidence and whatever. But it's like, again, I probably couldn't really do that because it's just different. Like there aren't even direct flights from here to half of those places, and like people's average income here is different. It's just different. I just don't know how to.
It's not as easy as it sounds.
As we talk about that,
and the visas as well. You know what I mean? It's just completely different.
If I was to compare all the different places I've been to, and compare the people, the social culture, the social norms, how they live, things they do. What would you say in comparison to like England and different places? What do you say Trinidad like? The people?
Yeah, so I guess like the people makes like the impression that you get of a country is based so much off the people, right? So if you like a country, it's probably because you like the people. I mean, it could be the food, the landscape, of course, all those things, but like the people is a huge part of the impression that you get of a country, right? So like clearly there's something special about Trini people to me, otherwise I wouldn't still be here so much. So I think to me, I find that in Trinidad, obviously you can't generalize and everyone's different, but like just to generalize, like I think people in Trinidad are so good at like making a fun situation out of like basically nothing. Like you could put like 2 Trini people in an empty room that's dark with like no water and like nothing, and they would like somehow find a way to like make a lime. Do you know what I mean? Like they would just sing and they like bang on the wall. Like they would just like find a way.
Trinidad!
It's not a real place.
They would be like, yeah, dog, this room real dark. You know?
I don't
You feel you could find me this dark, dog?
And like,
or boss a bad joke.
They just would find a way. And like I think also they are quite friendly in terms of like here I feel like you can talk to strangers. So for example, if like me and you didn't know each other but we were sitting next to each other in a taxi and then there's something funny happening out the window, we could like say, you know, we would like talk about that. Whereas like in England we just sit there like wanting to talk about it but we just can't talk to that stranger, you know. So I quite like I'm exaggerating for the purpose of like explaining it to you, but yeah, like generally like there's lots of times in England where like I kind of want to say something to someone but I feel like it's not in our culture to like or even like in Trinidad like I would feel more comfortable to say like like I like your jacket, like, you know, just a random compliment, whereas like in the UK I would say that's like less common.
So they're least expressive then, they're not as
like it's just in our culture to more keep to yourself like when you're in public, you know. And even like here if let's say like someone on your street is having like a lime, like a birthday lime or something like that,
whole street outside,
and then even if like you've invited him and he decides to come with like 2 of his younger cousins, you won't like question it.
Once they bring a bottle,
he doesn't have to like, you know, he doesn't have to like call you in advance and be like, can I bring my 2 younger cousins? Whereas like in England, it's more like I would feel like I need to call in advance and be like, can I bring my 2 cousins? Like, is that okay? You know what I mean? So it's less of like an open door like culture in the UK.
It's more social. I would think the other way around, you know. I think England and them other places much more
social. Because here what I thinking too, right? When carnival going on in England, people is be like, because it's not really that social. No?
Yeah, so actually, Carnival in England is what partially like what made me want to come to the Caribbean in the first place. Because I first went to Carnival when I was 16, and like I just went because it's like I wanted to experience like a fun day out. You know, I didn't know what was Carnival. I didn't know what was soca because I grew up somewhere where like obviously like I'm white British. I have no like Caribbean family or anything, so I have no reason to know like about
you don't
soca.
know, so you don't know. Yeah, fam,
So-
we treaties, we go everywhere.
So I just went to Carnival like how you might go to some random, I don't know, like just some random festival, like just for fun,
The
you know,
experience.
just for like a different experience. So I just went there just for a fun day out to London, you know, type thing, because I grew up like an hour outside of London. You could take the train. And I went there, like I said, not knowing what to expect or not knowing if it'll be good or not, whatever. And I went there and I was like, wow. I was like, what is happening? Because there are like these old people holding hands with babies who are on their dad's shoulders and dancing around and wearing all these bright clothes and trying all this different food, and like everyone's complimenting each other and sharing things and doing like cheers with their drinks. And you know, it was just this atmosphere that I had never witnessed in the UK in my whole life. And I was just like, this is just the most amazing thing I've ever seen in this country.
Amen.
And that's what made me like start to research the music. And when I got home, I went on Google and I was like researching the music because I was like, I just need to know about this because I've never seen my country like this ever. So yeah, that's actually what in turn then got me into the music, which in turn made me want to come to the Caribbean. So
So when was the first time you visited Trinidad?
Trinidad the first time was 2015, the end of 2015.
Okay.
So I was like 22 or something at the time.
Okay.
And that was because
9 years ago.
yeah. So it's really funny because like some people think I've just been coming since the TikTok or whatever.
No, well, I mean, people is never see the journey, eh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, the first time was 2015. I came for 3 months. So okay, I graduated in 2000. Can't remember, 14, 15, whatever.
Big up you.
And then I saved money for like I had already been working while I was at uni, like just in a restaurant, like part time, and then I carried on working after just to save money to travel. So that was the one other time that I did like a long term trip. It's very complicated. So so I saved money for like a year after graduating, sold my car, and then I booked a one-way ticket to Trinidad because by this time I had already been to Jamaica, like I told you, right,
Yeah.
in 2013, and I wanted to see more of the Caribbean. So I had saved a bit of money. I had calculated I can travel for a year with this money, right, back when I was like 22. So yeah, I booked a one-way flight to Trinidad, and I wanted to experience Carnival because, like I said, I had now experienced Carnival in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan was to stay for 3 months from like December to March or whatever. So obviously including Carnival. So I stayed at this farm in Moruga called One Family Farm, and they host backpackers. Like you can stay there and eat like for free food from the farm and stuff if you volunteer on the farm. So it's like a program. So I came and did that for 3 months, and I went up to town just for like a week for Carnival and came back to the farm. So I was basically based in Moruga pretty much the whole time.
Big up Moruga.
Yeah. So it's really Moruga that made me fall in love with Trinidad.
Have I ever been to Moruga, right?
Most people who I tell about that, they say they haven't been.
I thought some
Sorry,
people...
pass through.
Probably, yeah. I hear some people, you know, when they hear Moruga, they're thinking, fuck. Yeah.
Or they think of the song. Coming from
Moruga.
Moruga.
Big up Prophet,
Yeah.
right? So what's your favorite? So let me ask, what's your favorite? Well, I think you identified Moruga. It would be your favorite place to hang out.
Now it's difficult now because I have like a soft spot for so many different places. But
yeah.
it's like that was the original like happy place, you know. That was the place that made me say I want to come back to Trinidad every year for the rest of my life. Like, but not just Moruga, that specific village, La Lune, that specific farm, like One Family Farm, that specific family in that specific village in Moruga. Do you get what I mean? Not just Moruga.
Big up them,
Yeah.
right? And okay, where's your go-to Friday night like tonight? You wanna take a chill? Where you going? Trinidad or Tobago?
God. Like I don't really have like regular spots like that because you know there are so many people saying, "Oh, come here, come check this out. Come to my I don't know cricket match. Come to my birthday. Like it's just random. Like to be honest, it's
So once
just
you're
really
outside,
random.
you're outside.
But I would say that like since becoming like Travel with Zoe, partying is different than before because now I sometimes feel like people are like watching me a bit. Because, you know, now people
You're
will...
recognized.
Yeah, like people will come on my TikTok live and be like, oh, I heard you were here or I saw you doing this. Or, you know, you kind of feel a bit like watched once you have a certain amount of followers, I suppose. And so now, like partying it can sometimes be a bit difficult to just like relax, because I feel like, oh, what if I relax and it involves, I don't know, like dancing with this boy or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's, oh, she was, it's just more difficult to relax. So I will say that the one time, like since my TikTok's been like bigger, that I really felt able to like relax in a party, to be honest, was at do you know the Boom Shelter?
The Boom? No, but you know more. What's your dad better than me?
Correct. If Zoe telling me,
If I know more.
especially me, I mean,
Wait, so
No.
do you know about it or not?
no.
It's like this, it's in like St. Paul's. It's like this this like brick building thing that has like a swimming pool at the bottom,
Okay.
and they like rent it out for people to host parties there.
Fair enough.
But it's like very dark, and it's like up in this random place.
Yeah.
So it's like
So it's private.
like ish, yeah, like
Yeah.
So I went to this one party there, and it was so dark that I was like, great, nobody can. And like the people there, they kind of just know that they don't want to be on camera. Like,
Correct.
do you get what I mean?
Correct,
So I
yeah.
kind of felt like I could just, nobody would care what I'm doing, and nobody would like.
Your privacy.
You get what I mean? So that was like the one time. It was
yeah,
actually really nice because I felt like I could actually just
do
what I want. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But you shouldn't. I mean,
She restrict your
yeah.
freedom or
At the
your-
end of the day, let me tell you something. Here. People
go
are
always
gonna talk.
something
Yeah?
to say. They will
Social
always,
media is magnify opinions
Of course,
and
yeah.
give people the impression that it matters. Now.
Yeah.
Right? People
yeah.
going to have opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how to, because maybe I'm giving you the wrong impression. I really enjoyed like stinking. To be honest, I prefer to party during carnival because I love soca. I don't like to party to dance and stuff so much. So to be honest, like I don't actually usually go out. Well, now it's different because I have to go and no man, no stress. But before that, like I honestly wouldn't
We'll
even
get
go
to
out that much on like weekends. I would more go out during carnival. So like I love like Stinkin' Dirty. I love Jam Nation. Jam Nation was my favorite event.
Big up Jam.
Yeah. Like, give me a comp next year, guys, because I've literally been telling everyone Jam Nation was my favourite event. But, yeah, so I would say I'm more party during carnival.
So you prefer more to chill?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually like a granny, like, less now because of the music, but like,
not a granny.
but like before, because especially like with my content, it actually takes quite long. So usually I like to finish my day and then like, I like to edit my content in bed. Like I can just edit better when I'm like lying down. I don't know. So like I often get in bed quite early, like 9 p.m. and then I just lie there like editing content for like 2 hours and then go to sleep. To be honest. And especially like it's not always easy. Like sometimes you want to go out, but like obviously I don't have a car, and some of my friends don't have cars, and like how are you gonna? You know what I mean? Like sometimes it would just be really expensive to get the CTRS and. To be honest, I'm bored of the avenue. So sometimes if there's no events happening and you don't want to go on the avenue, like where...
Big up the avenue, but I am over it.
I'm so over it. But then like sometimes I get in the trap. Do you ever get in the trap where like you forget that you're over it and then someone says, should we go to the avenue? And it's been so long, you're like, okay, yeah.
but
and then you remember why you're over the avenue.
To me, that's the only way people could get me on the avenue.
It's like you forget that you're over it.
You and then hit me up and say, yo, we're going to the avenue, a bottle, whatever. Fine. Other than that...
Or like maybe if there's like a
just,
specific event.
Yeah,
like,
for me to just jump in my car
and go on the
avenues.
Or with the ride crew too. If you go to the ride team.
I went with you know Tilo, the German guy that walked around Trinidad.
Yeah.
I went to the avenue with him because Tilo's just hilarious. Anywhere I go with Tilo will be fun, but yeah, I don't know. So like sometimes you don't even know where to go. And honestly, I wish there were more places here that were like an alternative to like parties. I really would like there to be more places that have like ping pong and like, you know, kind of like games. More like a games like
I think it
lounge
has
or
it,
something.
but you have to look.
Yeah, but I want there to be more, like, because I don't always want to drink. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I just more want to like actually be able to talk to my friends and hear them over the music and like do something that's fun and sociable, but that's not just standing there listening to like craft blasting in my ears.
So you look like
what artist is it?
Craft.
Craft.
Big up
Craft too.
There's nothing wrong with craft, but do you know what I mean? It's just not every day.
Yeah.
I feel like
You know, actually, I had an idea, right? If I was to open a bar, I would actually do it like a game kind of entertainment center. No? One room have table tennis, one room have pool, one room have gambling, one room have TV, you know?
And I want like, you know, in
a whole
England,
center with...
we have like adult soft play. You know soft play where you go in the ball pit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have like adult ones of them. I want that. You know?
That's a good idea. Good
Could
business
throw
idea.
plastic
Good
balls
business
at each
idea.
other.
Yeah, because I sit down and put pen to paper already on like a real nice games night. People,
Yeah.
I like these kind of
I
social
love,
vibes,
like,
yeah.
board games
and
and
you'd rather
stuff.
be shouting
Yeah.
over the music. And so he said, I'm back, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I prefer a good home line with some friends or even out with some friends, chilling, talking shit and
Yeah.
things, than going party, I think these days.
Yeah, but
because-
just sometimes there's a lack of those places, I feel, here. I don't know. Because there's not even, like bowling. You could just go bowling, but like there's no bowling here. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
something like that.
So like there's we lime here.
Yeah,
We don't last, to be honest with you, we don't last more than an hour back.
Yeah.
Because like,
But I guess it
same
also
thing.
depends if you have somewhere to come back to, because like if you have friends who you all live with parents, or it's not always possible to like go and lime at like your parents' houses. And like where I stay, it's not really very big. I don't really have any like chairs. Like not many people could really.
Come on, oh.
You know what I mean? Like not everyone has that situation where you can lime in their house. Do you know what I mean?
My house is a party house.
so. Yeah,
What
so-
about since you're traveling? Apart from, I don't know if you have any in Trinidad, like any bad experience, any experience that kind of terrified you.
Terrify me.
Good terrifying. I have you would, man.
Yeah, like in Trinidad, there hasn't been anything like specific. I mean, I would say like as a woman, obviously you always get like creepy men in most countries of the world, which who generally like, can be like unpleasant for a short period, but usually it's just like you manage to walk away from them or whatever it might be. Like usually, luckily, it doesn't turn into anything like huge. But there's just been like a couple, I guess, like standout like story time things. Would be like in St. Vincent last year. Yeah, last year I was renting an apartment for like a month by myself. And one night, like, somebody broke into my apartment and it was, like, really scary. So that was one thing. And then in Panama, which was one of my, like, first trips as well, back, like, 9 years ago or whatever. Again, I was sharing an apartment with a girl, and again, somebody, like, smashed the window to come in, and it was this whole big thing. And then also there was, like a sexual assault experience, I guess, in Jamaica. And... yeah, they would be like the major ones. And then also just something really annoying. Like when I was in St. Lucia, I stepped in like an open drain and then I was on crutches, but I was staying in this Airbnb like
I didn't
up-
expect that.
up this hill and up loads of
Yeah, I didn't
stairs. So I was
expect
just
that. I
like
didn't expect
stranded
that.
in this apartment in St. Lucia, like not able to move for like a week.
expect
And then they
that.
had to like wheelchair me through the airport. Yeah, so only that, which to be honest, I think is actually quite good considering the fact that like since I was
Experiences,
20, I've like been
Traveling,
to like
yeah.
Brazil, Guatemala, Albania, Haiti. Do you know what I mean? Like there's such range of like countries, and actually not that many bad things have even really happened to me. So I think like it's quite good actually.
Yeah. And even the small things that happen, I don't think it was a deterrence.
No.
At all.
Oh, sorry, and also I got robbed at gunpoint in Barbados.
Barbados.
Barbados, boy?
Who is that, man? I love Barbados.
Yeah, like, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's like when that happened, because I find like different people have different reactions. So when I got robbed at gunpoint in Barbados, it was ages ago, like 9 years ago or something. And there were so many people who said to me, "Oh, I bet you'll never want to go back there." And I was like, "Of course I want to go back. The carnival was lit. Like I'm going back next year." Do you know what I mean? Like, so I find like a lot of people. I hear this a lot. Like even with Trinidad, I can't remember why, but I was mentioning like East Dry River to some. Oh no, I don't remember why. I was mentioning East Dry River to somebody the other day, and they were like, "I would never go back there." And I was like, "Okay, why?" And they were like, "Oh, 7 years ago, this thing happened when somebody banged on my car window with a gun or like something." And it's kind of like I just find it interesting because I just personally don't like attach one experience.
To everybody.
Do you know what I mean? Like I
As you
just think,
should.
well,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that thing happened there, but actually it could have
Yeah.
also happened there. It just happened to happen to me there, but it might happen to you there. So I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like put that as my
And
whole
a lot
memory
of, a
of.
lot of it is sometimes over exaggerated.
Yeah,
Don't
and
say
Yeah.
that.
people that deal with the trauma sometimes.
Yeah, and obviously, like I suppose it's not for us to like say how other people should deal with whatever, and if they want to not go back to that place, that's absolutely
That's
fine. I just
fine,
find it
yeah.
interesting because it's just not how I
Just don't
like,
put it
process
on
things,
me.
you know.
And do you ever feel targeted, especially in the Caribbean countries where majority are the ethnic people are? you
Like
know?
targeted how? Like you mean if people think I have money, so they?
No, yeah, well, I's not a gunman, but a gunman go pick who you want to rob, saying they get robbed at gunpoint. So I guess we'll look for the easier target.
Yeah, I mean,
than
I
there's-
think when it happened in Barbados, of course, I look
yeah,
like an
that's
easier
it. So I
target.
think it was more like a targeted to pinpoint.
Yeah, but then I think like it's actually like complex because as like a white person, a woman with a foreign accent, blah blah blah, like you have certain advantages and certain disadvantages, I think. So like a disadvantage would be that people usually assume when you're like a tourist and stuff that you're rich, right? So therefore you'd be like a better kidnapping target, a better like robbing target. But at the same time, they also assume that if they do something to you, they're going to get more jail time or they're more likely to be caught because the police might care more. So it's like, if there's someone who cares about jail time, they might leave you alone. But a lot of people don't care about that, like because they have nothing to lose, because their life is so, do you know what I mean? That they have nothing to lose. So it just, like, I think really depends. And
it's change your name to Zoe T.
But like, I don't, obviously now there's a whole nother element, which is that people here know who I am. So that adds like a whole next thing, which again is like good and bad at the same time. Yeah.
Well, I'm from England too, and man, I travel a lot and stuff. And I don't use my accent. I just try to put my accent.
Yeah. Trying to put. Watch now. She used her word just now. And I never go and call university again.
Oh.
Uni.
Uni?
Yeah. They all have a way with the words, boy. Way with the words. What is your favorite content to do in Trinidad? Like, whether it be food, or it be
Honestly,
places, whether it be...
I really love interviewing people, but I don't get to interview that many people. I don't know if you've seen any of my interview content, but like my favorite interview was when I interviewed Pimpin. I loved that one so much because I felt like I had never seen, like he pretty much told me that nobody had really ever interviewed him properly before.
Correct.
And in the comments, everyone was like, oh my God, he can actually talk. He can say more than just Pimpin. And I was like...
Big up Pimpin, wherever he stand.
Like it felt so... like interesting because I was able to hear all these things from him that I'd never like heard from him on any platform before, and I just love kind of the chance to like get to know people in a different way than what you see online, and I'm just fascinated by people, and I don't know, I just really enjoy the interview content, but it's just sometimes hard to pin people that, like, there's been people that have said, yeah, you can interview me, but then, like, when they give me their number and I text them, they just, like, don't reply, or they're really busy.
Right?
No, not even that, they're just busy, because especially if they're famous, like, they are just so busy, and, like, my interview is realistically not going to be a priority, fair enough. So it's just hard to pin them down sometimes, or sometimes, like, they're not available at the same time, or they're not in the country, I'm not in the country, so it's like, I really want to do more interviews, but it's just difficult sometimes, you know.
Get people to interview.
Yeah.
I don't always believe they're busy though. Fight me. I don't always believe that.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever,
I
but I also understand that if their phone is
I
like
understand.
having
I
100
understand.
notifications, like mine's clearly not the most important one, and
But,
that's okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like so many people that I would love to interview, but we'll see.
Food. 'Cause I realize it. You don't eat meat, right?
Yeah, I'm vegan.
Okay. So you're into the doubles. Right? But the veggie rotis.
Yeah. My favorite roti shop is Sunshine Roti Shop in Independence Square. I'm there like all the time.
Sunshine. Independent.
People don't know about it. It's like opposite the cathedral.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they have, I think Sunshine has other branches.
They have one
Yeah,
in
we
like
need to
Sawa.
try it. Oh gosh. Every time I go and talk about something, I forget the name. Have a roti shop in Page too.
Actually, another really nice roti shop is Pat Draj.
Patraj, that's
Yeah.
the sour.
Right?
Yeah, well, they have two branches as well,
That
I
one
think.
put the spin to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wings in Page.
Wings is a roti shop.
Wings roti shop.
Sounds like it would sell wings.
Nah.
That's what I was saying.
Nah.
Wings roti shop.
Nah. Trust me. Roti big son.
Or you watching that quantity?
No,
not
it
quality.
tastes good. It tastes good.
Tastes good?
Yeah.
You ever put butter in your roti?
Don't.
I'm vegan.
That's what I was saying. Right.
Vegan means you don't eat nothing from animals.
Yeah.
Like no egg, nothing like that.
Yeah. But to be fair, like as a vegan, when you eat outside your house, you have to accept the risk that you know, there may be some hidden butter in your food or,
Or some stuff like
or
that.
whatever. So I just have to hope for the best. Like once
But it have organic butter though.
well, there's still butter.
No, but made from plants, not animals.
That wouldn't be organic. That would be like organic. Just means if it was organic butter, that would just mean that the cow ate like organic grass.
Nah, but it had cheese made from plants and not animals.
Yeah, vegan cheese, but it's
Yeah.
not really cheese. It's like vegan.
It's like
Cheese.
Like
Style.
chicken eating grass.
Like in England, they're not allowed to call it cheese with like the plain spelling. There's a law. I think they have to call it like cheese with a Z because it's not actually cheese.
But
Oh, okay.
imitating cheese.
Yeah.
Piece
So
in
they
piece and
call it like
texture
a
and-
cheddar style block.
you know.
Cheddar
I
style.
was also on a health diet as well. But I'm currently vegan. But I'm not a vegan, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You're eating vegan at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not eating meat at the moment. So I always switching up my diet. Always trying different things, trying different styles. So one minute I would be right now actually on liquids alone. So
Oh.
liquid diet right now. And so I keep going. No sugar, no salt.
Yeah, I don't
drinks,
use
stuff
sugar
like-
either.
Yeah. If it's sweetener, I just take honey.
Oh.
I don't use sweetener, I use right now. But you know, enough about my diet.
Right. We're going to talk about the artist part now. She's an artist, though. They better know. How did that begin?
I feel like I've told this story so many times. So as I said, I like to do interviews. I ran into Aaron Duncan by complete coincidence.
Big up Aaron Duncan.
At
Anyway,
a
you stand.
supermarket. And when I ran into him at the supermarket, I was like, "Oh my god, I love your song from like 2014, whatever it was. Can you feel it?" I'm fucking falling down the sofa. So yeah, I was like, "I love your song from." It was my first ever Trinidad Carnival when he had that song. Can I interview you? And he was like, yeah, here's my number, blah, blah, blah. And so we arranged the interview. We decided to do it at his house because it's always a thing, like discussing the location for the interview, like is something you have to think about. And we decided he has a studio at his house, so it would make sense to just do it in the studio. So I went there, we arranged a date, whatever. It was a normal interview. I was asking him, so how was it growing up, like doing music when you were in school? Was it difficult to balance the schoolwork? Normal.
Normal, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, show me how you make a song, because he can like make beats and produce and stuff. So he took out the laptop and he was like, well, here are all the rhythms that I've made. Like, you choose one. I was like, okay, give me a Zest one. So he played this one, which was the same one that we have the song on.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, but then what? And then he was like, well, you just make something up. You just like freestyle. And I was like, well, I don't know how to do that. Show me. So then there was like this air freshener on the table, and he just like started freestyling about this air freshener, and I was like, I could just never do that. Like, that's amazing. And he was like, oh, go on, you have a try. You love soca. Like, why don't you try and make a song? I was like, what do you mean? No, that's ridiculous. I can't do that. And then he was like, just do it. And I was like, no. And then in the end, I was like, okay, fine. I'll do it if you do it with me. Like, we make one together.
Right.
And you help me. And he was like, okay, fine. So I was like, and I can't freestyle. I need to think about something and give me a 5 minutes. Let me go in my notes app or whatever and let me just write something, but quickly in like 5 minutes. So then he was like, okay, what do you want to sing about? So I was like, let me think, something realistic, something that's important to me. And I was like, okay, I'm really annoyed by all these men when I travel who say to me every day, oh, but I know you have a secret boyfriend in Trinidad. Oh, how are you traveling without a boyfriend? Oh, you need a man. I think you need to get a man. You're 31. You need to settle down and get a man. Like, I just wanted to tell them that I'm actually single and I actually don't want a boyfriend right now. So that was the point of the song. And so the lyrics I wrote were like from the heart, Like,
Okay.
Most important.
Most important.
What's from
So,
yeah.
fellas out there, you share is up now. Right?
She want a boyfriend, I mean she want a man.
All right. And how has that been for you so far?
Right, sorry. So to carry on. So we wrote the song, obviously, and then we, like, recorded it there and then. And, I didn't know that recording a song was so easy. Like, I just stood there, I just did it, and he just pressed it, and he was like, okay, we've done it. I was like, what do you mean we've done it? Don't we need to, like, redo it or make it sound better? He's like, no, it's just...
No.
I was like, what?
Go on then,
And then we just, like, made the little video of it, and we just posted it on my TikTok, and we thought, oh, great content. People are going to love the content. They're going to laugh at the content. It's quite funny, it's kind of embarrassing, whatever. But we just saw it as content, not really as a song. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, this is going to hit as content. Like, it's going to get a lot of views as content. And then I sat on his sofa in his studio. We stayed there to, like, see the comments and stuff because we thought they might be funny. And I ended up staying there for, like, 2 hours because the phone was just going crazy. And we were, like, looking at each other like, oh, my God, like, what have we done? And so then, obviously, I went home that night. And the next morning I woke up. And, again, it was still going crazy. And then after a few days, he was like, well, let's drop it. I was like, what does that even mean? Like, how do you drop a song?
Let's drop it.
Like, I don't know anything about the industry, like, apart from I love soca, so I've, like, seen it from the outside, but you know what I mean? And so all of a sudden, I was now, like, having a song on Spotify. I had to make, like, a Spotify artist profile and learn what is a distributor and all these things. And I was just like, what are the splits and all this stuff? And it was just all, it was all just happening at once. And, like, I was trying to respond to all these, like, TikTok videos from the song. And, like, it was just completely crazy. And then I would, like, walk on the street and people would shout out of the window, no, man. And I'd be like, no stress. Like, on the street. And I was like, what is happening? Like, it was just so insane. And then people are messaging me, can I get a dub plate? Can you come to perform at this show? like, it was really just so
catch
insane.
with your pants down.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I was just like, what is happening? I was literally joking. Like, it was a literal joke. I mean, the lyrics were serious, but, like, it was a joke. And then I've got other artists, oh, do you want to collab? Oh, producers, like, come to my studio. Artist managers calling me. Like, it just was literally insane. And it just hasn't stopped being insane. I think this was, like, 4 or 5 months ago now. I think it was in, like, June, July time. So, yeah, it's been probably about 4 months or 5. And it's still completely insane now. Like, I hear myself on the radio in multiple countries saying, no man, no stress, I just want to zest. Like,
That's good. Man.
it's
Good
completely insane. And
But do you think you'll be continuing singing as an artist now? Can you say you're Zoe, travel and slash artist?
Zoe T. Zoe T.
like, I'm just the person that I'll just, like, go with the flow. And there's not really anything, like, stopping me in a sense that...
Expectations were upon.
Yeah, like, so I'm just usually not just with this, but with anything, I just try to do, like, what's good for me at the time and what's fun at the time. So, like, right now it's fun, and right now it's bringing me, like, opportunities and new connections and whatever. So right now I'm going to carry on. But, like, if next week or next year it stops being fun or it stops bringing me, like, good connections or whatever, then I'll just stop. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, any result is fine with me. So if I'm still doing it in 5 years, that's fine. If I stop in 5 days, that's also fine. Like, I'm just fine with any result, and I'm grateful for the fun it's brought me, like, regardless. Do you know what I mean?
No, definitely.
Next thing, try acting next. Acting a movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Never know.
You never know.
I always believe in you get wherever you get and you feel to do, try it.
Yeah.
You know
And to be honest, I found that, like, I really enjoy writing lyrics. I find it quite fun trying to find, like, different ways to phrase things and, like, the rhyming. And, like, I honestly really enjoy that part of it. I don't enjoy, like...
You was a blogger, so...
Yeah, like, I like writing regardless, right?
yeah.
And, like, even, like, when I was younger, I used to really enjoy, like, writing... I used to write, like, rhyming birthday cards for people. So I'd write them almost like a birthday, like, poem. So I feel like it made sense that I enjoy writing lyrics, you know? So, I don't know. We'll just see what happens. I mean, like, there are a few people that have said we can collab who I would, like, never have dreamed that would even be an option, you know? So I'm going to try and get those collabs done and see what happens.
Nice, man. I just saying, I have a song launching soon.
Yeah.
Really?
Same thing, I'm very spontaneous.
What genre? What genre?
It between... What genre is that?
But I love it.
I went in the studio, I create a beat, write the lyrics and sing a song. It's a kind of... I don't know, it's not zest. It could be between rap and dub, probably. When I don't go play it for you, you'll see. Right now, master it. But me, I need stage where anything happen, anything I want to do, I just do it.
Yeah, but, like, why not? Like...
And that's one reason I think I even asked you to come to the podcast, because your energies, at least how you move and get along, it's similar to mine. I like that kind of freeness, that randomness, that spontaneous kind of behavior.
I mean, I think it's easy to, like, feel... You know, I think since, like, I don't have a regular job anymore and stuff, it's felt much easier to just, like, do random things. But I can definitely see that for a lot of people, there's a lot of, like, oh, but what if my dad doesn't like it? Or what if my job... You know, there's a lot of, like, society places a lot of, like, what ifs on people. And I think there are lots and lots of people who would love to do so many things, which they actually could do, but they just feel like, oh, I can't because what if, you know, like...
Shame.
Yeah, and this whole thing about, like,
thing,
you know, this word, like, cringe, it's cringe, like... You know, this fear of, like, people feeling like, oh, something's embarrassing or something's cringe. But, like, what even is that? Like, that's a social construct. Like, what does cringe mean? Like, cringe means that you're doing something that I believe wouldn't be cool for me to do. But, okay.
Who's you?
Yeah, do it
I don't, right. Like, I don't believe it would be cool. Do you know what I mean? So who cares? Like, what is cringe? Like, it's
Who
stupid.
is you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think a lot of us are held back by, like, these social constructs of, like, cringe and embarrassing and lame and,
Not me.
you know?
Because this podcast is something new that we're doing. And we both did different things. I was involved in events a lot, do artist management. If I get up tomorrow and feel like I do anything, I doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people need to stop study what people would think.
Yeah.
Influence.
But then to be fair,
You could be suffocating your talent.
well, lots of people are, for sure.
Yeah, based on you studying, boy, if I do this, next thing somebody watch it a certain way.
Yeah. But then the thing is, people are truly horrible on the internet. So I can understand the people who make that choice, like, to just stay in the safe zone or whatever, because you have to, like, be very, I don't know, grounded or whatever to like not want to just bury yourself in a hole
So,
after reading what people
I
do.
live
You know
for
what I
that
mean?
moment. I like to go on internet and provoke people.
Yeah, what you
I no
say?
shame. So I actually
Yeah.
go and provoke people and them try and give me bad insults, whatever cases, and laugh it off.
So hear what I saying, right? I used to laugh at comments. I used to tell you that. Because I grew up with sticks and stones now. Break your bone. The words never hurt. So when people put things on the media, I just laugh. Because if I had a comment, my comment would be like, how much money you make there? But if you taking your time to come to tell me some negative shit that not benefiting you in no way, you ain't make no money off that negative comment, you actually adding to my
Value.
algorithm, right?
Yeah.
So for me to comment or even study that, but I understand there are horrible people on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I think when
Everybody
it's,
bad behind buttons, eh?
yeah, but I think when it's bad is like if someone has, like most people have some insecurities, right? And I think what's bad is when the comments target your insecurity. So like some people might have an insecurity about their weight, for example. Like they feel maybe as a woman and she feels like she's too fat, and since she was in school, she's heard that she's too fat. She's boys have turned her down because she's too fat, whatever. If she comes online and starts posting content about anything, like about, I don't know, playing basketball, people might still comment about her weight, not the basketball, right? And if she hears, oh, you look like a whale, you look so fat, like that's gonna cut her like so deep because that's already her insecurity. Whereas if they say to her, oh, I don't know, like your hairstyle is lame, she probably won't care because that's not her insecurity. But like I think when someone hits your insecurities, I think that's when it can really hurt you. Do you know what I mean?
Here I will flip that, right? If I am a big person and I comment on something and the first reaction I get is somebody telling me that I'm big, I feel like that person has no point.
Yeah,
not
but,
really
but I guess
attacking
you're
the
okay
topic.
with being big,
Yeah,
right?
right,
But
but
some
what I'm
people
saying
aren't
is-
okay. Like then that's
some
not
people
your
It comes like this.
insecurity.
It comes like
But-
this. I arguing with you. I'm losing the argument, so now I'm gonna target. That way you're too big.
Personal, it's get personal.
because I
Yeah.
don't have a point.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what
just
I'm saying?
stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just
so-
stupid. But
That's how I always look at it now. Like, okay, they don't have a literate response,
So that
so
they
they'll
get-
tell you.
yeah,
that
yeah,
way,
no,
you know.
yeah,
So,
of course.
How do you deal with negative comments and reactions based on
Well, yeah, it just depends. Like sometimes I'll block them if I feel like they just have too much audacity and I just need to humble them. Then I'll just block them because it's like you really think
Yeah,
you can
so
say
some
that to me.
people just
Well,
targeting it,
goodbye, like you can't. But sometimes I just literally just ignore it. Sometimes I reply like something annoying, like "Thanks for bringing more people to my algorithm," you know, like
Yeah,
just
but-
something
but-
annoying.
yeah.
Or like sometimes, to be honest, like sometimes I actually try to like explain to them why what they said was like stupid, because I actually have quite a lot of faith in humans and I actually believe that like everybody can actually like learn and everybody can actually like reflect on like their actions and stuff. So sometimes I actually say like that. So for example, like since I was in school, people would always tell me I look tired. Like my mum also always has like dark circles under her eyes. Like even when she's not tired, she has it, and I obviously inherited it from my mum. And like obviously that's not like an attractive thing. Like,
Big up, mom. Anywhere she stand.
you know what I mean? So like, since I was like literally, I don't know, like 11 or whatever, I would go into school even after having like a great night's sleep, and everyone would be like, well not everyone, but people would be like, oh, you look tired. And so I've been hearing that comment like since I was like 11, and like obviously it's not my favorite thing when I look in the mirror. Obviously it's not the thing I love about myself. Do you get it? Like, it just doesn't look great, does it? Like, it's just not my best feature, do you know what I mean? So like I've been having to hear that like since I was 11, and like now that I have TikTok, I have to hear it so much more, because every day I go on TikTok live and people come on there and they don't say, oh, hello, or that your food looks nice, or they say, what's wrong with your eyes? Like as if my eyes actually like have like a defect. Like they actually function fine. I can actually see, which I'm really grateful for, because some people are blind or some people don't have two functioning eyes. And you know, like luckily I've learned to like kind of like, you know, truly believe that we're all beautiful as we are, like even with our imperfections and stuff. And like I'm still cute regardless. Like yeah, I always look tired, but like I'm cute regardless.
Yeah,
do
I
you know
tell
what I mean?
them I'm tired of your bullshit.
No, I started telling like the bags are designer, like you can't have them. But but yeah, as I was saying, like obviously it's just not the best thing to have to like hear this kind of, I would say, insult that I've been hearing since I was 11. Like now hear it from, you know, thousands of people every day. Like it's just not the best thing, because actually regardless of what they say, it was already something I didn't like when I look in the mirror. So like now it's even harder to look in the mirror and like not see it. Like I'm going to see it more, right? Because I will have just come off the screen where 100 people said it to me. So it's kind of like, luckily, like I've worked like on, you know, my self-confidence and stuff enough to like still be okay with how I look, and you know what I mean? But it is a challenge. Like obviously it is hard, you know what I mean? Because like you can't get away from it. Like whatever video you go, whatever video I go on of myself, like it's there. And it's like, I just find it so like odd that people, I just can't imagine commenting on someone else's appearance like that, you know? Like I just can't imagine going on someone's video.
I just always say perfection lies in the imperfections to me. Because to me, I don't believe in perfect.
Yeah.
Because everybody has something wrong, depends on the objective view of people.
Yeah.
But if you contented with yourself, and you start to love yourself truly, then everything is perfect for you. Nothing is really imperfect.
But also,
you know?
like, we're literally all fine as we are. Like,
exactly.
even if you had a nose that was pointing to the left, it's literally fine because that is your nose.
Exactly.
And like, what do you want us to do? Cut it off?
And you can smell.
So I think social construct create a definition as pretty. But it's not true, you know?
But I just don't I just can never imagine spending my free time going on his video and saying, "Oh, your hair looks a bit dry," and his video saying, "Oh, your lips are cracked." I just wouldn't point out the things I don't like or the things that I deem negative about someone's appearance. I would just never do that. Like I just can't imagine doing that. Like I would either like say something positive, say something funny, a question or interesting, whatever, or just not say anything. Like, do you know how many people I see on TikTok who I think, God, like, you look like you need to do some exercise, or I think, God, like, I'm a bit concerned by your smoking habit. You look like you're probably going to die of cancer. But like, I'm not going to say that to them because it's not my place. Like, and clearly it might upset them, and I don't want to upset people because people might commit suicide from that stuff. Do you get what I mean? Like, so I just don't understand like the psychology of doing that. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think another way I look at it too is what is make it not bother me. These people will not tell it that to your face.
Yeah, usually. I mean, usually, and it's so funny because like online, especially since like the Red Thongs video and stuff, I had so many people online even making videos about me saying how I'm such a disgrace and all these things. But then it's so funny because like on the street, obviously I get like nothing but love, you know? So it's like, where are these people? Like the ones that have a problem. Like, I don't know, it's very funny.
I always say the same thing. I know me have one or two people out there probably don't like me, hate me, whatever word it is, but they can never get me to hate them.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I will keep you at a distance, but I don't hate, you know? I don't hate nobody. You can't get me vexed enough for me to say, I want to say something bad about you, I want to bad talk you, you know?
Yeah.
It's just not my vibes.
Yeah. I think it's just a waste of time, really. And plus, like, everyone is just doing their best, really. And I think, like, a lot of people that say horrible things, like, it's really unfortunate that, like, that's how they've been raised. Do you know what I mean? And I think we actually have to be grateful that, like, we can function without expressing ourselves like that. But, like, not everybody has that ability. Yeah. And so I just try to, like, actually remind myself that, like, everyone is just doing, like, what they've been taught or, like, what they've seen growing up or, like, whatever. And it's not necessarily, like, their fault. Or it's their fault, but it's not. Do you know what I mean?
People just... Because I was sitting down thinking the other day, right? I feel like people put too much emphasis on haters. You know, you're going through videos and people always say, this one for my haters, and this we gain haters too much glory, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just do it for you. Just do it for your family, do it for your friends. All this hater talk and this one for my haters, we glorifying them.
Yeah, but it's funny, so, like, I think we shouldn't focus on it too much, but I think sometimes it's funny. Like, I mean, like, after I saw how I could, like, outrage so many people from simply putting on a red thongs and bending over in sea-lots, I was like, okay.
Big up the red thongs.
This is kind of funny. Like, I might do this again. Like, I don't know. Like,
and that's I see that laugh here, the entertainment I get from provoking people.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, I was legit just making a music video. I wasn't, like, the aim wasn't primarily to provoke people. But, like, after I realized that I could do that, I was like, well, this is kind of, like, a funny power that I have. Like, I don't know.
But people out there thinking they could tell you how to live your life. Imagine you are living your own life here, you know, and they want to guide you and tell you what you could and what you can't do.
I just can't imagine being like so outraged by another like random person's behavior that I would ever spend my time like
tell you something.
Exactly
writing an essay in their comment section. Like how I just don't like if someone over there like I see people doing things every day on TikTok that I personally think are quite disgraceful and that I think are quite negative and that I think are quite unhelpful for
They keep
society
it to
or whatever.
yourself.
But it doesn't like outrage me to the point where I feel to write an essay on it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, oh, that's a bit shit, and I just move on, like, because I have better things to look at in my free time. Do you know what I mean? So I just find it so fascinating that, like, not only me, but I suppose you are, and lots of people are really able to outrage people so much. Like, I'm like, do you not have more important things going on in your life? Because, like, I know the things that I get outraged about are just a bit more important than, like, random people on TikTok. Like, I'm way more outraged by, like, Palestine than, like, a random, do you know what I mean?
Real
Like,
problems.
or maybe
And
by like a personal
again,
relationship problem, or you know
yeah.
what I mean, like than random
And
content creators.
And again, I can speak on this from experience. Most of these people, right, who might comment, let me just say, Mark comment and say some shit about your eyes or whatever, right? If you meet Mark in person and invite Mark to be your friend, you know, you're going to be your friend, right? He is not going to stand on the shit he was talking on social media.
Somebody say it's Galmashitan, enemies is a friend you want to meet.
Yeah, because these people don't know you personally, but if you do get an opportunity to meet them personally, they would be your friend. They wouldn't stand on the
And remember
this
that
and she read tongues and whatever.
once people start talking about you, whether it's good or bad, that means you're rich, you make it.
Well,
Because nobody is talking about the vagrant on the street. Nobody is talking about somebody who doing nothing good or productive or better than them. You have to be at this level for them to talk about you. You have to be actually in the spotlight or, you know, doing something good for them to talk about you.
yeah, I mean, I was very proud. Like that day that the first music video came out with Big P, and like I had people from different countries phoning me and being like, "Oh my god, I can't stop seeing your screenshots everywhere, all over my entire Facebook, my entire Instagram, my entire Twitter, whatever." I was like really proud. I was like, wow, like me and Big P are actually like the topic of the day in
Big up
multiple
Big P,
countries.
wherever he stand.
Like,
I just feel like that's so strange coming from my mouth.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
you
I got
know?
next name.
I
Though,
watch you.
yeah, I got next name. Big up P, big up P, right? But yeah. Nah. Continue to grace your experiences. You know what I mean?
You have to go through that.
Yeah.
You have to.
People. I just say, right? If you study opinions of humans, you wouldn't leave your house.
yeah, for sure.
If I put on the short pants, if I put on the shoe, if I
Yeah.
put on this thing, nah.
Because no matter what you do, you can't please everyone. That's the thing.
Nah.
Like, and I think the more followers you get, the more controversial every single move that you make becomes. I feel like if you were Beyonce, right, you could go in the shop and buy an orange juice and it would be like, she bought the cheapest one. Or she bought one that wasn't organic. You know, you could do anything.
I know, look for some
And for some
criticize.
people, it would be wrong. Because I sometimes even feel like that. Like, I'll be on a live, like, eating a watermelon. And some people would be like, you're not supposed to eat with your foot on the sofa. Or, you know, like, they'll have a problem
But
that I'm
nah,
eating the
she
watermelon
hit the-
in my
she-
own
she
house.
hit the
Like,
nail on her. People just comment about real shit.
it's rude to have your hat on in the house. I'm on a live in my house. Like, you know, so it's like, honestly, once you reach a certain point, I just think you probably can't do anything anymore without, you know?
Yeah. That's now is you're breathing too much.
Literally.
Way boy, it is easy. People, you can't please people. And again, I keep saying these people are not going to say that to your face. If you in the same place with them. That same person who's saying your eyes ain't gonna come and tell you about your eyes on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Well, actually, just one person, like, since the music, one lady did have a go at me in Port of Spain. Like, I was walking along Independence Square and someone, like, was calling me back. Like, I passed her and she was, like, calling me back. She was, like, a vendor under, like, an umbrella. And I thought maybe she was calling me back to, like, I don't know, ask for a photo or, like, whatever. So I came, like, back. And then she pointed to some, you know, teenage girl who was, like, crossing the street. And she was like, you see that young girl over there? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I want you to be a good influence to her and people like her in this country. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I just stood there, like...
You're out of police.
Very out of place. Very out of
I was
place.
like, okay, have a good day.
Whoever that lady
bye."
was, yo, that damn place.
Let's go and call all the actors on TV who doing shopping
This
this
is
or
my point.
all the other
This is
bad
my
influence that out there.
Everybody just make an excuse and blame other people for other people's action. I just always say, I watch enough action, enough killing, enough drugs man show. I've never killed somebody. Right?
Fair.
Right?
Also, it's actually okay to wear red thongs. I think comparing killing people with wearing red thongs is actually not even a fair comparison because it's actually okay to wear red thongs.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
I favor boy shorts.
I see nothing wrong with our tongues.
Yeah, I mean, we need tongues.
Like, they're pretty comfy.
So, and how much tracks you have out right now? Is 2 or 3?
I think I have like 7.
Bumbleclad.
Yeah.
Buckler.
Because I have single. I have one I made by myself called Still Single. Then I have...
You single.
Emphasizing on the single.
Yeah. Then I have
So, Zoe. Let me.
Big P, Red Thongs. I have a new song with Matara French called Did You. We're going to perform that in Valencia tonight. And then I have
Big
a
up
song...
Valencia.
I have a song with Umpa, he's from St. Lucia, and a song with Jar Redis from Barbados. So that's 7 songs that are out. And then I have 2 unreleased. One is by myself, and it's called No Means No, and it's about consent, and it's really important to me, and I'm hoping to drop it in a few days. And then another one is with DJ Cheem, who's from Barbados, but he lives in New York, and we're dropping that one soon. And it's
10
called
they are feeling now.
Good Pussy Girls.
Trinidad! Big up all you, wherever all you stand. Because you don't know. I was going to ask you just now, but she threw more for that good pussy girl, you know?
Is it that a lot of guys are scamming you in that kind of, like, looking for relationship?
I feel like I proposed to she, you know.
That.
Yeah, I mean, I think just as a woman in general, like, it just often feels like people only, like, want to talk to you for one thing, or, like, men only want to talk to you for one thing. So it's like, you know, I think my content, and the thing is, lots of people now say, oh, well, look at your music, what do you expect? But, like, my DMs were already the same before the music. So, like, I feel like my content at the beginning of TikTok was, like, very, I don't know if innocent is the word, but, like, very simply about travel. Like, I was barely even partying. Like, it was very, like, doubles, waterfalls, hiking, in, like, hanging out with, I don't know, like, a farmer and cooking a pot by the river. Or it was very, like, not sexual, like, whatsoever. Like, there was no mention of, like, boyfriends or dates, or it was just very, like, rustic traveling, like, backpacking kind of vibes. And, like, even back then, it was like the majority of my DMs were like, oh, like, nice tits in that bikini, I want to eat you out. Like, and so
Big up.
like, it's like,
Fellas getting directly to the point.
it's like, even when I was giving none of that, like, that was still what they saw me for. So it's really, like, men don't, like, really understand that, like, no matter what we do, no matter if we wear a bin bag, no matter if we're wearing work uniform, whatever it is, we're still objectified regardless. So it's so actually infuriating when people try to blame it on the music, because I have people even messaging me now saying, you're asking for it, you're, you know, kind of blaming all this on the music, when it's exactly the, I mean, my DMs are exactly the same as they were, you know, 2 years before. So, like, honestly, it's almost like the fact that no matter what I did, I was so objectified regardless. It almost empowered me to do the music because I knew there'd be no consequence, like, in a way, or not no consequence, but I knew it would just be that
It is what it is.
Yeah, like, you're gonna see me that way regardless. So do you know what? Let me just have fun with it because it's already the case. Like, do you know what I mean? So
single life, no dates, no nothing.
Like, no dates, not many dates. Like, haven't been on a date in months and months and months and months and months. Because in Trinidad, I kind of feel like it's a bit too small. You know?
Or everybody in your business.
Yeah.
Everybody in your business.
Yeah, so it kind of feels like and it's different with, like, Big P, obviously we were, like, liming, obviously we kissed, everyone knows that, whatever, and that's different because that was, like, we knew that was, like, on social media, so it's, like, fine, but I just mean if it was something, you know, if it was a non-social media person, it would probably just be a bit uncomfortable, like, for them, because if people saw us out, like, everyone would, and so it's like there's been a few boys that maybe we've, like, gone for a drive in their car and, like...
And nothing wrong with... To me, I find nothing wrong with dating, you know. Dating
No,
just getting to meet someone, to talk, you can chat. It don't have to be leading to a relationship or leading to that.
No, of course it doesn't, yeah.
Exactly, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I actually have Tinder, which is so funny because so many people think it's a fake profile. Like, they assume it must be fake because I'm, like, an influencer or whatever. But I actually, like, have Tinder and I actually, like, I don't really use it, but, like, sometimes if I'm in a weird mood, I'll, like, swipe on it. So I was in a weird mood, like, a couple of months ago. no, like a month
Pick
ago.
up the weird moods.
And do you know those ones where like
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
like you just feel to do something crazy? I don't know. Swiping on Tinder is not crazy, but whatever. I was in a weird mood, and so yeah, I actually have been talking to this guy in Trinidad, like from Tinder, since like a month ago, and I think we're gonna meet up, but I'm a bit like scared because he told me that he's like a really private person, so I'm a bit scared that if we like go out and then someone says to me, "Oh, red thongs," or like, then it'll be like a bit off-putting for him. Do you know what I mean?
Not me. You just tell
And
people.
Tinder too. I actually downloaded Tinder. I also travel a lot, right?
Oh,
So when I try to travel alone, so Tinder is the
yeah,
place
it's good. It's good for traveling alone. Yeah.
understand? So I download Tinder, but I travel for short periods, 3 days, 4 days, weekend, 5 days. By the time I get reply and thing, I done back in Trinidad already.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes. But then sometimes, like, they end up in your country or, like, this one time I matched with this guy in London, like, literally, like, I don't know, 7 years ago or whatever, because I used to, in England it's super common to use Tinder. And, like, we never met up because he went back to, like, New York a couple of days later. We never even really, like, chatted, whatever, but we randomly followed each other on Instagram. And then, like, a couple of years later, I was in New York and I had, like, a really bad experience with my Airbnb. And he saw it on my Instagram and he was like, "Oh, come and stay at my apartment." And he literally rescued me from this Airbnb.
That's good.
And he was sharing an apartment with, like, friends. And I
Big
slept
up
on the
Batman.
couch. And, like, wow, like, that was just from a random Tinder match, like, 2 years before. So sometimes, like, networking and stuff is
so
pretty cool.
I have about 2 or 3. I have a friend in Chile, for example.
Exactly,
I'm
like,
in
that's
Dominican
quite
Republic,
cool.
yeah. I have a few Tinder friends that I meet, and we
Yeah.
stay cool now.
Yeah.
Well, visit and thing.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Not everything is,
Yeah,
So
I've
what
literally been
kinda-
on like hikes with people from Tinder in different countries
No,
just
but-
because they like hiking. Like,
I was having a conversation the other day, right? Not every guy or every male, right, built to just be around young ladies and just not be on that vibe. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
I mean, not everybody built like that. Man.
Yeah,
I myself, as she mentioned before, I think I just like meeting people.
Correct.
New characters,
Yeah.
checking out the
Take
personality.
care of my
Everybody
phone.
different,
yeah.
Podcast 868, and we are out. Right?
Thank you for watching Parallel Podcast 868. Please be advised that the opinions and views expressed by our guests are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the show or its hosts. Viewer discretion is advised. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more insightful content.